Hello, welcome. It is time for the HR Happy Hour work break with Steve and Trish. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey Trish, how are you today?
I am being strangled by my earbuds because
Okay, doing the earbud thing today.
if this tells you anything, like I have the wrong computer. This is like my really ancient MacBook. I had to like dig out these I have a whole bag of like old earbuds that I don't like to use and they're from like I used to be notorious for getting them on trips, and so I'd buy them at
Hmm.
the airport all the time. So this is a pair I've probably worn once on a plane at some point, but anyway, they are in. How's your day?
Not too bad. I will, and I want to ask you about yours because I know you had a big thing today that I want to hear about. But
I
I
did.
will say this: I'm a little bit disappointed, and I think I was misinformed. I did relocate fairly recently to the sunny South, and I'm gonna tell you what, Trish. It's been nonstop rain. I'm talking deluge, flood warning, flood watch, literally for days. It's been raining for about 5 days straight, and I've about had it. About had it.
Okay.
So
Do you feel better? You got it off your chest. You're like,
I'm gonna, I'm gonna feel better. You were very, very busy today, I know, and I'm gonna ask you a question about your day. It's so late here. I was kind of trying to wait for happy hour. After we did this for happy
yeah,
hour, I'm
yeah.
not waiting.
No.
It's because where I live, it's after 5. It's 5:10 as we speak. So
Okay.
cheers, everyone.
See, it's 4:10 here, and so I am not to that point
All
yet. I
right,
actually
you're
have a
being
few more
good.
things. Can I tell you a little bit about my day, though?
Yes, I want to hear about you did a big presentation today, and I'd love to hear how it went.
I did. So, first of all, a huge, huge thank you to Head Start. For those who are not familiar, their website is headstart.io. They are a talent acquisition company based out of the UK.
Mm.
And the CEO is Gareth Jones, who is a longtime friend and friend of the show. And they invited me to be the keynote and, talk about like a month or more of preparation. And, I had the slides were down and everything was perfect and dialed in early and it's going to go, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the video decided no. It decided no, we really don't want.
I had the same thing happen to me the last presentation I did for
Yes.
Singapore.
Yes. And
Oh.
so it's like nothing that Head Start did, nothing that I did. It's just, these platforms I think are just so overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
But so let me tell the rest of the story. So I'm like, hey, it's okay. I'm gonna sit here and try and figure it out. I was, restarting, entering, whatever. Because we had time, it was early. Could not get the video, it just would not work anymore. So I'm like, not a problem. We've got my slides. It's fine. I can be audio, no worries. Get it started. Gareth is welcoming everyone. My slides go poof, all gone.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Wow.
so I did the whole like we're trying to like you know uh, sort of stall for just a brief moment, and I said, I finally said something like, you know what, I'm just going to talk because I know what the slides were, and the slides
Mm-hmm.
aren't even they just really aren't even that important. When you're being asked to come and talk about trends and how they're applying in today's world with the workforce, if you can't just talk and know about your topic and know yourself, I feel like you're probably not cut out to be a keynote anyway. So we eventually got the slides to work. All was well, and I think the big lesson for me was that more and more we're going to have these type of events that are online for the best preparation, and you just always have to be prepared. And maybe that's the point, to discuss things like, what if it doesn't work?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do our
Yeah.
best to make it work. What if it doesn't? And make sure that you are working with speakers who are able to juggle that, because much like our work life in general has been thrown into chaos, I'm sitting there thinking like a lot of people might have just been like, oh, I can't deliver this because I memorize my slides word for word. And I had some like bullet point notes off to the side that I just kind of talk to. So it gave me the ability to do that. So I think if you're someone, whether you're a vendor or whether you're a conference planner or whatever, talk to your speakers in advance. Make sure they have a backup plan. Like, how would they handle it if their slides disappeared? How would they handle it if
Mm-hmm.
um, if the video disappeared and that sort of thing. So, like you said, you had it happen in a Singapore event
I sure did.
recently, like
Yeah.
what, a week ago. So,
About a
like,
week
what did
ago,
you
yeah.
do? What did you?
Well,
You
the
just did
video
audio?
for me wasn't as disastrous as what happened with you this morning. My video went out within maybe 45 seconds of me starting the talk, and I didn't realize it right away, which was unfortunate. So we kind of rebooted and restarted, and I kind of had to pick up from where I thought I had stopped. I still had audio, and I still had slides. So, and I had a printout of the slides in front of me anyway, which had, similar to you, I had notes on the slide, and the slide notes you do in PowerPoint, right? And so I had some points that I wanted to mention. And a lot of times for me, I'm trying to call up very specific statistics, which I'll be honest with you, I generally don't commit them to memory, right? So I need a little cue to see them if I want to say, 47% of people are not comfortable going back to the workplace. That was a stat. Right. I don't necessarily have that memorized. I know it's a pretty high number. So I was able to plow my way through it on audio, and I did have the slides in front of me too. So, but it wasn't a great experience. And I left that event thinking that, the same thing. What's plan B? What's the backup plan? And I know these live events are proliferating all over every industry, right, including ours. I'm starting to think, though, this is low stakes, right? What we're doing right here. We're broadcasting live. It's two of us chatting for 10 minutes a day. It's fairly low. If the video were to pop out right now, okay, popped out. Not that big a deal. But for a big event that you spent months working on, and the organizer spent months and half a year planning, and there's sponsors, and there's a lot at stake, these little video glitches or hiccups or these the way things can go wrong, they're much higher stakes. So I'm starting to think more and more that, maybe pre-recorded is a better way to go for some of these things, and try to reduce the element of risk, or maybe do some elements of pre-recorded and then have the speakers come on and do Q&A or do some interaction, that's live. So maybe there's a hybrid model that makes more sense than to try to rely on especially a global event, right? You're going to have people all over the world, all trying to rely on different technologies in their homes to try to make it a global event happen. It's a lot of risk there. And I'm just wondering if it's worth taking that much risk.
I think you're right. I think having some element maybe of pre-recorded, but you know what? I'd probably lean more heavily toward keeping it live, because again, maybe this shows us that I'm like you. My presentation had quite a few different statistics. They were from all different reports. And it certainly, I knew what they were, but I did not commit every single statistic to memory. And when you have that happen, maybe the statistic itself isn't what's important. So, maybe it's more about, we need to change the way that we're approaching, whether it's a keynote or a session or whatever we're doing, and really just talk to people. Because I know that what we're doing now, it may just be, 10 or 12 minutes, but we're getting such good response and the numbers are really high.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that at all. I just meant that
I'm just saying,
I'm willing to take the technical risk of us doing this live on our video cams, because it's a lower risk proposition than.
But the point is, it shouldn't be, because isn't it more interesting to see people live talking to you about something that they're supposed to be an expert in?
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily need the slides as a crutch. That's what I'm saying. I think it's almost too much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine to have one or two, but you don't necessarily need slides.
Here's what I think. I think it's okay to not necessarily get too judgy about how people present, whether they're really slide heavy and rely on them, or the opposite way and they're not. And here's an example I'll give from last year, an event I was at. I'm pretty sure it was the OC Tanner event. I hope I got that right. Let's say it was. I think it was. One of the speakers anyway at this event, this unnamed event, which I think was OC Tanner, was Malcolm Gladwell, the author.
Right.
Now, some people love Gladwell's book. Some people are iffy on him, but that's not really the point here. Gladwell gave a really excellent talk, I thought, about his new book, and I'm a fan. And he had no slides, right? He just got up there and told the story, but he had with him the entire time he talked for 45 or 50 minutes in his hand what looked like to be about a 20-page speech, quote unquote, typed out. And he had it in his hand the entire time, right? Yeah. And he glanced at it from time to time, and he turned the pages, if you will, and put another page on the bottom from time to time. He wasn't reading it, but he was definitely looking down at it. He was definitely consulting it, and he definitely carried it around the whole time. So it was really the opposite, right? It wasn't hyper dynamic, flashy, big imagery slides or no slides. And I mean, it was just a different way of presenting that I'd never really seen anybody do before, but he was good. He knew the subject, and it was really, really effective. And I didn't think any less of him. Every so often he turned the page and looked down for a cue or a topic or a point he wanted to make sure he made.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, exactly a year ago, we were, at HR Tech China, and one of the keynotes there was Ram Charan. And, he is such a great presenter. He is such a wealth of information. His experience, globally surpasses so many people. And he hand drew his slides. The few slides he had were literally like chicken scratch that were shown on these huge screens. And it was almost like,
here's the org chart written in like a felt tip marker.
Right. It reminded me, I used to have a teacher in high school who would use the overhead projector and write on the overhead projector, and then
the transparency thing we're talking about, right? With the light that kind of went up.
But so here's someone who's giving a huge keynote using that method, and it was very effective.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, wow. Yeah. So I think there's lots of ways to present. And I do think that perhaps maybe the lesson here that I'm thinking about, and we're working on virtual events ourselves, is how do we accommodate for these varying types of, because I think the worst thing you can do in any event, live or virtual, is make everybody do it the same way, because they certainly wouldn't be comfortable. Everybody's got their own style and their own approach and their own way they're going to do their best at it.
Well, I think you're right. And I think also just give people permission to do something different. If they plan to do slides and some glitch happens, go for it anyway, right? I've seen, I'll give one more example. If you're not following Dwayne Lay, please do. He's such a dynamic speaker, but Dwayne is someone who always has quite a bit of data. And I've seen him before start just going off the cuff and, talking about drawing his own slides or whatever. So you do what's necessary. I think the point is that if you're bringing experts to speak to your group, make sure that those experts feel like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the slides work. It doesn't matter if you can see me. Like, people don't need to see me necessarily talking. It would have been ideal, but it's okay.
I was bummed out because I ironed my shirt that night. I was really prepared for the video, and
you should have seen me. I got up this morning. I washed my hair. In all honesty, hadn't washed my hair probably in 4 or 5 days, a while. I was to the ponytail phase, right? I was tall, and so now I've got nice, fixed hair.
There you go. Hey, I wore all my college gear, by the way. My BU shirt on, my Gamecock hat on. I wanted to talk about some college stuff on the show today. We're not going to get to it.
We will not. Every day I'm going to keep it going. Like, when will you finally get to talk about college stuff?
I'm just going to lead off with it. I'm not super happy about what's going on with some of our major universities and colleges in America and how they're handling this whole, fall semester thing. So that's the teaser for when
Here's your teaser again for tomorrow.
I'm not excited right now, as a parent of a college student, especially.
I know. I don't want to make light of it. All right. So tomorrow, I will make sure tomorrow I have nothing to say other than, hey, Steve, tell me about what
tomorrow's Friday, right? We'll have some fun with the show tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Oh, and just cheers to my friends at Shiner Beer, the official beer of the work break. I'm calling it Shiner Bock. Thank you.
I've never heard of it.
Austin, Texas. It's fantastic.
Austin, Texas. Okay.
Fantastic beer. And a really cool little brewing company based.
I love that we can give shout outs because we don't have any reason not to. Today, I am drinking water from ADP Cup. My friends at ADP. You know what? I've got to tell you, I love getting cups. I use them. So, product placement, ADP.
There you go.
Anyway.
Shameless.
I know. They don't even know. They're probably not even watching. It's fine.
Oh, we can talk about
it. Okay. That's all for now. Thank you, everyone, for continuing to support us, for watching the show. We love it. Also, just a shout out, we will be having a longer version HR happy hour that we did yesterday, a recording. It will come out next week. And so be looking for that because it's both audio and video as well. So
yeah, very cool.
Until tomorrow. Bye, everyone.